What's up, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. We're back at it here again with another interesting video for you guys. We're going to be looking at a viewer requested video actually on how to make a deck of cards. Some of you guys, a few of you might have actually seen me release this video a week ago for a few hours, and then the first comment made me realize it wasn't working the way I intended. So I took the video down, took the Patreon post down, and fixed it for the most part, as best I could. So yeah, sorry about the duplicate video, but I don't want to release content that doesn't work. So no wasting anyone's time, hopefully. Anyways, let's check it out. Alright, so you can see we have a deck of cards here. And these are synced between people as far as I know. There is one issue, I'll explain in the video later, but I can't do anything about that. It's just a bug within VRCSDK. So that's the one issue with this at the moment, which will be fixed soon, hopefully. Alright, so let's check it out. Oh yeah, also these have a few unintended side effects, which are not bad, just worth noting. They can be used as jumping platforms if you'd like, and you can also use it to build a trap around people because they do that. So yeah, super useful. Okay, so this is going to be probably my longest video because there's a lot that went into this, so hopefully you guys appreciate it. Let's start with our card deck. So we have a plane, basically. You can just ignore that if you already have a plane. And then inside that we have a empty object, which we're going to add things to later. That is our holder. And we have a cube. And then inside our deck of cards, so each card is essentially 2 planes that are facing the opposite direction. You can see that with the Z value right here. So the face side is up on both planes. The one that's labeled plane, the child plane of the card objects, has the card back attached, which is just a material with the texture assigned. Nothing fancy there. And the card front are labeled, have the card faces on them. Let's see if we can find them all. Here we go. So we can see all the card faces here. You can just drag and drop that onto your object and you'll be good. So I highly recommend creating one of these, and then we're going to take Control D to duplicate it for the rest and just change the face card. What you'll want is a mesh render, a mesh collider, make it convex because that's what gives planes depth. You will want a VRC pickup script. You'll probably want auto hold. You might want disallow theft, that's up to you. You will not need this box collider, do not add it. Do not add an Udon behavior. Actually, yes, do add Udon behavior and check the sync button. It's going to look a little different on your screen, I'll explain why later. But add an Udon behavior, check the sync button, and then you're good to copy that object 52 times. I did it in groups of 4, so I did all the 2s, all the 3s, all the 4s, so on and so forth. That made it a little easier on me to get it correct, and I still messed it up. So whatever works for you, but I do recommend making one object at a time. Otherwise, you will not be able to mass edit the VRC pickup script or the Udon behavior, which is an issue. So basically, once you do this, you have an ordered deck of cards. If you just wanted an ordered deck of cards for some kind of game that requires an ordered deck, there you go, done. The rest of it is gonna take a lot more work, which is the shuffling and the randomness of it. So how we're gonna do that, we're gonna tell this thing to go back to where it belongs. And we are going to take a look here. So essentially what we're going to have to do is we need a C# script. This is what we did, or what I did the first time through this video, and the C# script will work in the editor, and that's because it works fine within Unity. However, if we can see right here, let me zoom in, on the VRCHAT website and their documentation and the frequently asked questions, they do not support scripting via mono behaviors. You have to use Udon, which was a real disappointment, honestly. I put a lot of work into some of the scripting stuff, so that's as far as that goes right there. So what we had to do was we have a converter called Udon Sharp, which you're gonna have to download and get it. This is the GitHub for it from Maryland VR, Udon Sharp. This is our converter between C# and Udon. You will probably want to look through this and see exactly what it can and can't do, because there are things it can't do, which is some of our limitations for getting this stuff to work. For instance, the instantiate method. It does not use the instantiate, it uses VRC instantiate, which is different. Udon synced does not work on game objects, which is one of the limitations that we are blocked by. Instantiated objects will lose their Udon behaviors. Destroy object will create bugs. So there are some very important commands we can't use, but this is the best we have for now. So until I figure out a way around this, let's get going. So basically this is just a package. Make sure you get the package. You'll need the Unity version I use, which 2018 420 F1. You'll need the latest VRC, and I do mean latest. Make sure you're not using an old version. Go download the new one. And the latest release of Udon Sharp, which you can click that button, download it, and it's a Unity package. You drag and drop it right into your editor. What you'll also need is some kind of code editor. I guess you could use like Notepad++ or something, but I do recommend Visual Studio. Just go to visualstudio.microsoft.com, pick up the Community 2019 edition, and I'm sure they have some guides on here if you need help with that. So once we have Udon Sharp and Visual Studio, we're ready to make a script. So what do we do? Well, if you get confused or anything like that, it's always best to go back here, look at the how-to, getting started, installation right here, and it says basically make an object, add an Udon behavior. Easy enough. So we already did that. That is our ordered cards. Here's our Udon behavior. Essentially what it's saying though is you add one like this, make sure it says Udon C# program asset right here, not assembly or graph, C#. Okay, so you're gonna click new program. We're gonna name this script ordered cards. And here's what it's gonna look like. Get in there. All right. So we have a public, which means we can assign it a array game object named card deck. That's going to be our list of cards. We have a public game object card holder, which we're not even using at the moment, so you don't need that if you don't want. and we have our void start. So before the first frame is called, this function runs. So before the world even like boots, this is done right here. This is our first for loop. It's saying for integer I that is equal to 0, while I is less than 52, so while it's 0 to 51, increase I by 1 every time we step through this for loop. This is saying card deck of position of I, so card decks of I, which is 0 in this first run, transform the position of that card to a new position of x0, y0, it should be a float, and then a random y value in between 0 and 0.053. So this is your height of your deck, your random range. If you want to mess with the value, this is a good one to mess with. Specifically this value right here, because 0 is probably not going to want to go to below the floor. So the height of the deck, or how dense it is controlled by this value right here. Okay, so once we have this, the shuffling actually will work on the start of the game. And we'll be able to see that as soon as we hit this play mode, that it's working correctly.
Nope.
This should, because they're all at one level right now, it's flat, and then when that script runs, it should randomize the ordering and give it depth, which we can kind of see from back here. It has done, and if we look through it, the cards are randomized. So this is actually where the last video stopped, besides doing the Udon sharp, so it didn't really even work, but this is where we stopped. This is going to go a little bit further in the sense that we are going to go ahead and create a button to reset the card so you don't have to reload the world, hopefully. Alright, so just unplay your game, and we'll go look at this cube. So what are we going to need? Let's get a mesh renderer, a box collider, that is trigger, and a mesh collider. The reason for this is we're going to use an on mouse button down script, which only works if it's connecting with a trigger collider. But we also still don't want to walk through it. Don't worry about this layer. I was messing with that. I just need to change it back. Okay. So let's look at the script. We're going to need the same thing, another Udon behavior. Make sure it's a C# one. I called this one Shuffler. We'll open it up. This one is looks like a lot, but we're actually not going to use a lot of this until they fix the bugs inside the VRCSDK3. And then when they do, this will all work fine. So what do we actually need then? We need public game object card deck. I'm going to go ahead so nobody gets confused. Commenting out everything we don't need. Okay, so what do we need? Private void mouse down. This says when you click an object, call what's inside this function. This is our second for loop. Does the same thing as the first one as far as cycling through the loop and iterating. That's the word. This is saying, hey, reset the rotation to the default of the world. And this is saying, basically ensuring that's going to happen, or setting any new value if we want to. So this is our Y. So if we set this to 180, it would flip the card deck upside down, and we revealed the cards. So like if you're doing like a blackjack or Texas Hold'em type thing, that might be where you want to do that, is a reveal button or something. Anyways, and this is our reset to our original position button. So pretty easy. Took a lot longer to figure all this out than to actually explain it in a video. This took me 3-4 days of programming in my spare time to figure it out as best as I could. So this will work, and we can go ahead and test that by going in game, hitting play.
Nope.
kind of skipped a step here. So before any of this is going to work, you have to populate your arrays. So let's do that. So our first array we made was right here. It's called Shuffle, and it has a card deck. What we need to do is populate this card deck. It'll be empty on your screen, so nothing's going to be working. Let's go ahead and there's a lock button right up here. It's very hard to see on my screen. I'll put up an image. Check the lockbox. Click your first card. Go down to your. Make sure you don't have any of the planes out. Go down to your last card. Hold Shift and click the last card. Drag and drop it onto your array, and then it'll populate it. As you can see, mine went from 52 to 104. We don't want that, so there you go. That's your card deck. Now your card deck holder, even though we're not using it right now, is the ordered cards. You can just drag that right onto that. Okay, so now do unlock it. Go to your cube. Since we just added the scripts for that, go to your card deck, lock it, and do the same thing. And the card deck holder, or hidden deck, we're not using that, but if you did add that line, it is ordered cards as well. So now we can hit the play button now that our array is populated.
What if you don't? What if you find?
We will go to scene. Let's move card. Let's rotate it. That's a plane, not a card. King. Go back to our game. Click. You can see that it rotated them and reset them, which is what I told the script to do. And that, like I said, is all adjusted in the shuffler script right here. So however you want it to be done, you adjust it right there. So the only issue is that I can't demo it because I can't record multiple games going at once, plus everything else is going in the background. So I'll just have to explain it. What the issue is that, let's say there's two different players, they're picking up the cards. Whoever hits the reset button, it won't reset any cards that they did not touch last. So every person who's playing the card game will need to touch the shuffler to fully reset the cards. Otherwise, what will happen is the deck will get shuffled without those cards in it. So let's say you take out all the 8s, the deck will get, whoever clicks the shuffler will shuffle the deck, but there will be no 8s in the deck. So it's kind of works. I mean, it works mostly. It's just, I mean, that's a bug I can't really do anything about because all the workarounds for that are currently bugged out with the VRCSDK or aren't supported currently. So at the moment, unless I think of a different workaround, that is the limitation. And I'll keep the video description updated with that in case I come up with a fix. So I'll just post that as a separate video and not make a whole new one. But if you guys were able to recreate this and got it working in your game or created something else with this information, drop me a like, comment, subscribe, let me know I'm doing a good job. This stuff can get pretty frustrating at times. And if you're one of those people who's fed up with it and just wants it working as I described, I do have all this for sale on my Patreon. And yeah, I got most of it for demo in my in-game world as well. So that goes for all of my tutorials in general. So yeah, I don't know. do whatever you feel like. I'll catch you guys next time.